Hey, welcome. So today we're diving into something pretty amazing. What is actually happening inside your brain when you decide to learn a new language? And let me tell you, it's way more than just memorizing a bunch of words. It's a full-on neurological workout that literally, physically changes your brain. I mean, have you ever just stopped and wondered about that? How on earth does your brain take this jumble of strange new sounds and symbols and rules and somehow, magically, turn it into fluent natural speech? Well, it's not magic, and we're going to break it down. To get how it all works, you first have to meet the two key players inside your head. See, it turns out your brain doesn't have one little spot labeled language center. Nope, it's much smarter than that. It actually repurposes two huge, powerful memory systems that are already there to do all the heavy lifting. Scientists have a name for this, of course. They call it the Declarative/Procedural Model, or DP model for short. It's basically the theory that explains how these two totally separate systems, which evolved to do other things, team up to help you learn Spanish or Japanese or anything else. So let's meet them. Okay, think of it this way. You've got a librarian and an athlete living in your brain. The librarian, that's your declarative memory. Its job is to memorize facts, simple as that. It's super fast, it can learn a new word after hearing it just once. It handles all your vocabulary, cool idioms, and those tricky irregular verbs. But then you've got the athlete, your procedural memory. The athlete's job is totally different. It builds skills through practice. It learns slowly, gradually, and it's in charge of the rules of the game. Grammar, how to structure a sentence, all the stuff that becomes second nature. And they even work in different neighborhoods of the brain. So how do a librarian and an athlete actually work together to get you speaking a new language? Well, that whole journey from feeling kind of clunky to suddenly feeling automatic, it's really the story of a handoff between these two systems. It pretty much happens in three stages. First, when you're just starting out, your librarian is working serious overtime. You're consciously memorizing flashcards, vocabulary lists, and grammar rules like they're historical facts. But then, as you practice, as you actually try to speak and listen and repeat, something amazing starts to happen. The brain begins this slow transfer of knowledge. It starts handing off the grammar part to the athlete. And eventually, step 3, the athlete just takes over. You're not thinking, okay, subject, verb, object anymore. You just feel it. The grammar becomes an instinct. It just sounds right. And this brings us to the big one, right? The question I am sure a lot of us have asked ourselves. If this process is so straightforward, why does it feel so much harder to learn a new language when you're an adult? Well, here's the thing. The secret isn't that adults can't learn. It's that our whole learning style shifts. A kid's brain is just primed to use that athlete system, soaking up grammar without even trying. As we get older, our athlete gets, well, a little less flexible, a little less efficient at building brand new skills from scratch. So what do? We compensate by leaning on our super strong, highly developed librarian. And we end up trying to memorize grammar as a list of facts instead of truly internalizing it as a skill. But, and this is a huge but, here's where the story gets really incredible. Because regardless of your age or how much of a struggle it feels like, the very act of learning that language is doing something phenomenal to the physical structure of your brain. No, really, that's not a metaphor. You are literally, physically, building a bigger, better, and stronger brain. And we've got the receipts to prove it. This isn't some process that takes decades. In one landmark study, scientists saw major physical changes in the brains of English speakers who were learning Mandarin after just 6 weeks. 6! So what does this brain workout actually do? Well, for starters, your gray matter, the part that does all the processing, it literally gets denser. And your white matter, think of it like the neural highways connecting different parts of the brain. It becomes stronger, more robust. The end result is a brain that's just better integrated. It's more flexible and more efficient at pretty much everything. And here is the absolute best part. This isn't some special perk just for kids. This incredible ability for the brain to rewire itself, this neuroplasticity, it happens whether you're 8 years old or 80 years old. It's a benefit that's on the table for anyone who's willing to take on the challenge. So what happens once your brain is all rewired and fluent? How does it actually perform? Let's just take a second to appreciate the unbelievable speed it operates at. I mean, think about it. When you're listening to your native language, the words just pop into your head, fully formed. There's no delay. But just how fast is that recognition actually happening? 50 to 80 milliseconds. Let that sink in for a second. That's not a typo. That is faster than you can blink your eye. That tiny little window of time, that is the magic moment. It's all the time your brain needs to hear a sound, process it, and make a decision. Yep, that's a real word, or nope, that's just random noise. That incredible speed is what lets us keep up with conversations that are flying by. Okay, so after this whole deep dive into the neuroscience of language, what's the one big idea you should walk away with? Here's the bottom line. Every single vocabulary word you learn, every grammar rule you wrestle with, it's not just getting you one step closer to fluency. It is the active process of you building a denser, better connected, and just plain more efficient brain. And that's a pretty powerful thought to end on, isn't it? Your brain can literally construct an entire new world for itself, all through language. It just proves how incredibly powerful and adaptable that thing in your skull really is. And it kind of makes you wonder, if it can do that, what else are you capable of?